Well, hi there. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm doing this video today because I'm participating in the Simon Says Stamp Cozy Hugs release blog hop. It's a 2-day hop, and today is the second day, and I'm so excited to be a part of this hop. But I just wanted to do a video on the cards that I made because I didn't have the coordinating dies to go with the stamps that I used. So this video is just to show you how you can make this card interactive with or without the dies. So I'm going to, I'm starting out on my backgrounds here. I'm just ink blending some orange colors. I didn't have a circle stencil, so I just created my own. I had some stencil material on hand, and I just took a circle die and cut out a circle. So that's what I'm using. But Simon Says Stamp has great circle masks that you can get, and they have several different sizes. All right, so anyway, so I'll list all the colors and all the items I use to make these in the video description below, and they'll also be over on my blog. But I ink blended carved pumpkin, ripe persimmon, and black soot for this one. And I also made a green one too with several colors. And I'm just splattering some black paint now and some water. And I put that stencil back over it because I didn't want the splatters on the white part of the card. And then I decided to run one of them through the Kaleidoscope embossing folder. For the green ones, for the green background, I used Twisted Citron, Peeled Paint, Rustic Wilderness, and Black Soot. All right, so this is the Batty for You stamp set that I'm using, and it does come, you can get coordinating dies, but like I said, I didn't have the dies, and I really wanted to make this card interactive. The wings actually flap, so that's what I'm going to show you what I did here. So I'm stamping out this image, and the instructions, if you purchase the coordinating dies, you'll also get the instructions on how to do this along with 50 little brads. I think it's 50 brads. But the instructions say to stamp out the bat body and the wings, and then an extra silhouette body. Well, you're supposed to cut out an extra silhouette body, but I, like I said, don't have the dies, so I just stamped it and fussy cut it out. And now I'm just taking the Memento Tuxedo black ink, and I'm going around the edges to hide any imperfections in my fussy cutting. And there on the left, you'll see the actual instructions that you get with the coordinating dies. I have my husband helping me because we couldn't remember how we did it. On the purple one up there. That was for last week's Simon Says Stamp Wednesday challenge. Nope, I take that back. That was for the day that the Cozy Hugs release went live. So we're just trying to recreate what we did on that top one. All right, so you're going to see me measure some things here. I measured on the silhouette here where I thought the brads are going to go based on the instructions on the left, and it just so happens to be 2 centimeters apart. So technically, so I put my pencil dots on the silhouette, and I'm going to put a hole in the center of the wings here for the string to go through. And technically, from the center of that should be 1 centimeter each way to the left and to the right, and that should be where the holes are on the silhouette. I hope that makes sense. So like I said, you're going to see me keep measuring along the way because I want to make sure I get it right. And this is why the dies would make this so much easier. So now I have the center where I want to put the center hole for the string, but I don't want to puncture all the way through the silhouette background. So I'm just going to kind of hold it in place, pull it out there, and then I'll go ahead and poke the hole through. And I'm going to stretch it out a little bit because I wanted my string to be able to fit through there nicely. So now that I have my center hole, I'm going to go ahead and poke the holes on the silhouette. And then I'm going to hold the silhouette over the top of the wings this time because I have the holes in there. So all I have to do is take my pencil and draw through the holes where I want my holes on the wings to be. And like I said, I'm just going to keep measuring as I go and make sure everything's lining up. And this is exactly 2 centimeters, so that's exactly what I wanted to see. So I'm going to go ahead and poke those holes through the wings. And now I have all my holes done. But the little the little piece that comes with the die set would have been pretty handy. Because even doing it this way, I had to add a little extra. I had to use my hot glue gun, and you wouldn't have to use that if you had the die. So I'm cutting my string here, and I don't know why the string is so curly. I thought it would kind of relax a little, but it didn't. But it's already in my bats now, so it is what it is. So I want my string to glide freely through the holes there. So that's why I stretched those out. And I also want the wings to move freely. So I'm going to put the brads in, and I'm not going to put them in too tight. So that way, hopefully, like I said, when you push up on the string, the wings will fall back down. And I just had these black brads on hand, so that's what I use. They're a little bit bigger, I think, than the ones you get with the coordinating dies. Now I'm just tying a loop here so that every time I pull the string, it's not trying to separate the wings. And I'm gonna make it a loose knot though, so that it can still move up and down. And then that knot also makes my string a little bit firmer so that I can, push up on it and have the wings come down. So now the instructions say on the left there to take some foam squares and put it on the silhouette, the body, in areas that it won't interfere with the wing movement. So that's what I'm going to do. And I decided to double up the foam squares because that knot is kind of big. And I didn't want it interfering with my wings moving. So I layered that up and I put it on the head, and then you saw me put it there on the legs, and the knot should go right between the foam squares on the legs. And then here I'm just doing my second bat, making sure things work as I go. Now my knot is loose there, so there's room for the wings to go up and down, but I'm going to tighten the knot, so hopefully to make it smaller, so that it's not going to interfere with the wings flapping. That's what I'm doing here, is I'm just tightening it and making sure it's going to glide. I just love this little bat. I think it's so cool. So I've already ordered the dies, but now I'm dying to get them. Feels like I have to wait forever. So I'm just taking my hot glue gun here. This is my husband's idea, and putting it on the string below the knot just to firm up that string a little bit. Because once it dries, it hardens, and that way, hopefully, the wings will flap, and they do. Yay! So now that I got everything working, I'm just gonna put my top body on. This is the one with the face. And I did the exact same thing for the other one. So this is why I wanted to do this video, because yes, you can use the die if you have it, great. Like I said, I'm getting it, but if you don't have the die, there's still a way to make this work. But the dies would definitely come in handy. Now the second background, I didn't run through an embossing folder. I just left it the way it is. And I'm just trimming them down a bit so I can have a black border around it. I cut this one down to 4 by 5 1/4. And then the green one I cut down a little bit more because I wanted a black border and then a white frame around the black frame. And my black cardstock has some holes in it, but you'll never know once it's on the card base. I'm keeping my sentiments fairly simple. I'm just using some of the sentiments from the same BATTY for You stamp set. So for this background, I am just stamping it with TUXEDO black ink, Memento, and then for this card, I'll white heat emboss it. So I'm putting lots of glue on the back here because of that 3D effect. I want to make sure it's going to stay glued to my background here. And then just for fun, I wanted to pop up the bat a little bit more. For inside the bat, I used a different foam square because they were a little bit thicker, and as you remember, I doubled it up, so I wanted it to be kind of high. But these are the Simon Says Stamp foam squares, and they are thin, and they were just perfect for this. So it's just enough to keep the wings off the background, and so they move freely. On this card, I am also adding a black background, and this one's just going to have a little white border around it. You know, for such a small action, just adding a white border, it packs a big punch. I like just that simple technique of adding an additional border. I love how it can make a card look. Now here I'm just heat embossing the sentiment for the second card that has the 3D embossed background. And I'm just heat embossing it with some white embossing powder. And I'll use the Sentiment Labels die by Simon Says Stamp to cut it out. Wasn't quite sure which size I wanted, so I have a couple of them there. And I'm just going to cut out that sentiment using these wonderful scissors. These are also pretty new by Simon Says Stamp, and I love them. They actually cut to the very tip of the scissors, and no other scissors I've found were able to do that. So these are my new favorite. I'm going to use some liquid glue to glue that sentiment in place. And then as a last little embellishment, I'm just going to add some onyx crystals by Studiakatia. Look how cute they are when they move. I love them. And that is how you can use the Batty For You stamp set with or without the die. I do recommend the die though. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it. If you liked it, please click on the like button. Let me know that you liked it. And be sure to check out the Simon Says Stamp Cozy Hugs blog hop. This is day 2, but there's lots of inspiration. If you head to my blog, there's a chance to win a $25 gift card to Simon Says Stamp. All the details are in my blog post. Like I said, all the supplies will be listed and linked in the video description below and also over on my blog. And I hope to see you guys next week for the Simon Says Stamp Wednesday challenge. If you've watched any of my videos, you know I do have some health problems, so I'm not as reliable as I used to be. So I do my best to post every Wednesday, and I hope to see you then. Thanks. Bye.